Alright, that's not so bad. We'll go with that. And come over here. Hit one. And we're recording. Hooray! Hey, hey. Hi. That'll work. Alright guys, we are live streaming and we are recording. Beautiful. Alright, we're going to start in the middle here and just start cutting. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Oh, that's a little better. So we got a number 5 blade in here. Start with. Hey guys, welcome in. So this M has a point on it, so we're going to come back, come in from the other direction. Okay. Now we have room for the blade to turn back. And away we go. Hey Diane, how's it going? Yeah, this is 96 holes, but we're doing 2 at a time. So I've got another point I have to contend with. So I'm going to come up to here, stop, come back, knock that piece out. Come in with our point. There we go. Hey Travis, how's it going? Welcome in. So we're actually filming a YouTube video right now, but I thought I'd live stream so we can have a real-time video as well. So we're cutting 2 pieces of 6mm Baltic birch. So we're cutting about a 1/2 inch. We're using a number 5 blade. Here we have another point. Come back. This one will just force around. So we're working on some Christmas stuff. I kind of plan on doing a couple fall markets this year if I can get in. Maybe we'll set up an Etsy store as well for the channel. Ooh, I missed a hole. I have to drill one more hole. So 93 holes. Hey, hello. How's it going? Me? Welcome in. So there is a couple very long cuts in here. We're going to be removing a lot of material. So we're gonna not cut out the entire thing over here quite yet. I'm just scared if I cut it out, it would be too weak to cut the other internal cuts. So we're just gonna cut this piece out here. So we got our first little cut done. So what happened was I was cutting it, and then this piece here comes all the way down into here, but I'm scared about these pieces in here just falling out. So I did notice I have to do one more little hole. Of course, I'm gonna have to run to my other drill press just because I've got a smaller drill bit. So here. Alright. Alright, sorry about that. I actually had to run over and get the bigger drill bit. So, hello. Hey Tim, how's it going? Belinda? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say P. I'm not up on my Cyrillic, which is a shame. So I am running my saw off a foot switch. Which makes it just faster to shut off the saw, as long as I can find the switch. Alright. I'm a bottom feeder, always have been. I'm like a kerp. Alright. Camera down, that's not great. Hello, Jose. How's it going? Time for a cheap CNC router. Why don't I just throw this on my laser engravers, right? Defeats the purpose. Hey, Don, how's it going? 11 lights, right? It's just the way it goes, Tim. It's just the way it goes. I'm doing something different today. We're actually recording a YouTube video right now. So this will be a full-length video, but this will be an actual cutting, so if people want to see it in actual speed, they can. Piece of wood hanging out somewhere. There it is. So close. I'll get there. Come on. Are you too good for your home? Oh, you're gonna make me rough? There we go. Yeah, I have been scroll sawing since 1987. Don't get me wrong, I've taken breaks. But yeah, I enjoy it. Something I can do that I can shut my brain off. Okay. Hello. I'm just gonna say A because I don't know where to even start. You all right? Hello, welcome in. Hello. How's it going? I'm just gonna say Lee. So we're doing all these little internal cuts. So we're gonna do all the little delicate stuff first, and then hit the big stuff at the end. What's my favorite blade? Oh, and Magda, hi, how's it going? Kind of depends on what I'm cutting with. My default for when I'm cutting like the majority of the stuff where it's like a 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch, I prefer a number 7 blade. This is a 1/2 inch, but it's Baltic birch, so I'm going with a number 5. These are Nikwa blades, so they're Flying Dutchman. I use Flying Dutchman blades, so Nikwa, and I do Pegasus as well, and I also do Olsen Mach Speed. The Olsen Mach Speed blades are a little bit more aggressive than the rest of them. Yeah, I like modified geometry, you know, throw a skip tooth in there, reverse blade, I'm happy. Yeah, definitely. I could be cutting this with spirals as well, but I'm not in a very spirally mood. I figure this is only about 10.5 inches square, so I got plenty of room to pivot, to turn it. Hello. Is it Rahul? Rahul? Hello, welcome in. Yeah, this one is going to be a little tricky with this blade. We'll get there. So I'm going to skip where the antler connects, and I'm going to come back to it. Because it's so tiny, I don't want to mess it up. Same here. I'm going to just go around the outside. Just like 2 trailer park girls, right? Alright. How's it going, Alex? So we can come back here and then cut the little very delicate bits. Then we don't have to worry about the rest of the waste vibrating in there and breaking anything. So we can be very, very careful. Go. Keep hitting my cameras. So besides the live streaming, I'm recording the actual video for this at the same time. So I figured it'd be a good idea. That way people, if they want to, can watch the live stream to see how long it actually takes. And then if you just want to sit down and watch the video, it'd be edited and sped up. I like options. So if I was cutting this for myself and not recording, I would probably do it in 2 or 3 sittings, but since I'm recording, I'm going to try to do it in one. It feels like a 2-hour cut. I could be wrong. Thank you, O. So we're making some progress. You zoom out a little bit. There. Yeah, this is a Steve Good pattern. Once it's done, it's going to be gorgeous. So we are cutting this on a Harbor Freight scroll saw. This is the new Bauer that they came out with. Which is made by Chen Sen, I think it is, in China. They also make tools for Technitool. They made the Nova stuff. They make Rikon. So if you can get a Rikon saw that looks pretty much identical to this one for twice the price. The new King saws look like they're coming out of the same factory as well. It's very similar to a sewing machine. It's just got a reciprocating blade on it, except for there's no feed dogs. So. Hello. How's it going, Gina? Welcome in. Hola, no hablo español. Yo soy estúpido gringo. I try. How many inches is the wood? It's about 10.5 inches square. So we're cutting 2 at one time. So it's a 1/2 inch thick total. There's 2 pieces of 1/4 inch that are nailed together right now. That way I'm able to get 2 cut out, kind of make my time a little bit more efficient. Where can I download the image? It's a Steve Good pattern. So if you do a search for Steve Good patterns, it'll come up. It's scrollsaw workshop.blogspot. Just search for Steve Good. I don't think I have. Yeah, stevegood.com. It is pretty beginner friendly. It's not so bad. I'd call it intermediate. That's a pattern right. You know, it's not too bad. You just have to be careful. About getting all the little internal cuts made. Oh, now I can't see the chat because it's now that image. Let me switch back. A little better. Yeah, I really like this pattern. I've cut out a couple other patterns with Steve Good where he uses these deer, and I love them. Hey, Clifford. Well, that's good to hear. Maybe you want to add more fiber to your diet. What's the thickness the scroll saw can cut? It can cut like 2 inches, but that's asking a lot out of it. Hello, 25. How's it going? Welcome in. So today we're cutting out this Christmas sign. It's a Steve Good pattern. You can get it at stevegood.com. It's a free pattern. Is it Bata? Hello. Welcome in. All right. Give me 1 second here. Hello, Christopher. How's it going? What's the name of your machine? Please and thank you. This is a Bauer scroll saw. I'm working on it. There we go. Actually, it's Harbor, not. There we go. Yeah, from Harbor Freight. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome in. So we're just eating an elephant. We're just one little bite at a time. I keep knocking this. I'm gonna have to move my camera here, keep knocking it. That'll work right there. A lone drop? I just suck. Welcome in. So we're looking at the pattern here. Everything is looking good. So we have basically 3 big cuts left. So we got 1, 2, 3. I think we're gonna save those for the end and then start working on the perimeter here. I don't want this getting delicate without getting all these other holes done. So Hello, welcome in. So if you're new to the stream, my name's Scott. I do a lot of crafting projects. We're on the scroll saw today. My scroll saw, this one is a Harbor Freight. It's a Bauer scroll saw. I do have others. This one is just more approachable to people starting out. And I've done review videos on the saw. I did a 7.5 month review because I missed the 6 month mark. Yeah, it's a solid saw. I mean, I bought it on Halloween and it's just been a pleasure to use. Hello, how's it going? Welcome in. Stance's Workshop online, pretty much. Normally I try to wait till July before I start making Christmas stuff, but, you know, a couple days early. So you always have to be, you know, a season or two ahead of selling stuff. There we go. Do I ever get bored and leave? Your nerves are made of steel. Now, I'm recording a video right now. I'm recording a long format video basically a tutorial for making this. If I was making this just for myself, if I wasn't recording, it would probably be 2 or 3 sittings. You have to realize that the blade is also, you're not seeing how close I'm getting to the blade because of the angle. Scroll saws are good at making band-aid injuries. So worst case scenario, if I did cut my finger, I'd have to go put a band-aid on it. So not too much to worry about. So I do a lot of production work. Not making this kind of stuff, but yeah. I usually cut myself with the saw maybe twice a year. Usually the wood will break or the blade will break and then start tattooing me. So I spend, probably at least 20 hours a week working on the saw. If it's not a secret, how much do you sell these pieces for? Well, I have never sold this specific piece before. I'm going to have to see how much time it takes to cut it out. I was expecting about 2 hours, and I'm making 2 at a time. So my materials and costs, I'm at about $7.50 once I'm completely done with the sanding, staining, painting, putting in glaze on it. In my area, I'm guessing that this is going to go for probably under 25. So I'm guessing probably $20 is my local price, what I could get for it. So in a bigger city, I could probably get more. So we'll see how long it takes to cut out. I'll do the math and go from there. But I'm guessing probably between 20 and 25 is what the market will bear here. Hey, how's it going? type of table you ever saw resting on. I built a bench for it. It's just a bunch of 2x4s. But it's very hefty. And it's actually screwed to the floor. So they do make a metal stand for this, but you'd have to order it through Raycon. You need handmade stickers. People like unique and handmade things, and they're willing to pay a bit more. Okay. Yeah, usually I do fiber shows. I sell fiber tools, and my front table is full of keychains and buttons and that kind of stuff. A lot of sublimated stuff. Nothing, I really respect copyright, so none of my stuff is copyrighted. Which is hard to compete, you know, when the person next to you is selling stuff, you know, with whatever, Bluey on or whatever. I am in Wisconsin, so America. Hence the outrageous Midwestern accent. Too far from Florida. Yeah, it's a little far. I have been kicking around the idea about starting an Etsy shop for this kind of stuff to go along with my webpage. Maybe do a tutorial about walking through setting it up. This Bauer scroll saw from Harbor Freight is pretty amazing. It's like $250. Which sounds like a lot. You should use walnut. I don't have any walnut 10.5 inches wide. And by the time I would machine it down and glue it together to get this size, there's no way I could make any money off it. Does the wood have to be soft? Absolutely not. No. No. I cut a lot of exotic hardwoods on these saws. So Vera wood, Argentina ligamente I cut on here, which is really, really, really hard. You have a shit ton of black walnut slabs. Well, there you go. You're in South Carolina? Yeah, you're a little far. I'm in Wisconsin. Come on. Are you going to backlight it? This has a back piece that's just a circle that matches up with this, and I'm just going to paint it probably either like red or green, and then I'm going to stain this a light color, either yeah, the scroll saw is really hard to you couldn't cut your finger off with it if you unless you really wanted to and were willing to invest like 45 seconds of pushing really hard. Can you customize it? I could. But right now I'm just cutting out this one. Oklahoma. They do. Yep, they make jewelers blades. You know, a lot of people do coin cutting on these types of saws, on scroll saws. You know, copper, brass, that kind of thing. I'm in Wisconsin, and right now I have to work on this piece. If you want to shoot me an email, or you know, banishmonkey@gmail. We can go from there. Looks like a lot of fuzzies cut off with the scroll saw. This is all from just drilling. The bottom's actually not too bad. I'm using a reverse tooth blade. So that cuts down on a lot of the fuzziness. Oh, looks like a lot of fussy cuts. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you could cut this out on like a Cricut machine if you really wanted to. Hey, not a problem. 97? Yeah, this is basically a big stencil, so you wouldn't even need a carrier sheet. All one piece. So this is a scroll saw. This is a Bauer scroll saw from Harbor Freight. You have an old Delta Milwaukee scroll saw from the 1940s? Nice. So it's got the rigid arm on it. And the top is spring-loaded, right? Matthias, hi, how's it going? Is your granddad's? Awesome. Those saws will last forever. Although this style saw is a little bit quicker with changing the blades out. Get back in there. Sorry about that. You reconditioned all this old tools? Awesome. I had an old, God, it was an old Sears Roebuck, and replacing the drive belt with one of the, where they're like a chain, like a rubber chain almost, really helped that saw out. Made it a lot quieter. Same with the jointer. Couldn't find a belt to fit it. Yeah, so you make your own. Hey Patricia, how's it going? Yeah, sometimes it's easier to do that than try to, retrofit something and try to add an idler pulley into it. Totally get it. So if you guys are just tuning in, we are cutting out this Merry Christmas sign. It's like 93 holes that we have to do interior cuts. Yeah. As long as you let the saw do its thing, don't force it, you can get some pretty nice looking cuts out of it. Has a cast iron table, yeah. And scrapyards love old cast iron. Hey Milos, how's it going? So I was shooting for 2 hours to cut this out. We're at 66 minutes now, so I think we're doing pretty good. And we're compound cutting, so we're making 2 at once. I used to top feed a lot. I'm trying to bottom feed this whole thing. We'll get there. Check the tension on here. Seems a little. There we go. What's throat on this thing? It is 22. It's a 22-inch throat depth, so it's actually a little bit bigger than like my Pegasus. Yeah, my Pegasus is 21. This is 22. Yeah, this is the Bauer scroll saw from Harbor Freight. So I put shelf lining paper down and then I glued the pattern to the top of that. So we basically have one big sticker. So when we're done, we should be able to just peel off the pattern. And if we do it really gently, we would have a stencil. But that's not going to happen. I would like to say we're making some progress. So I'm using a number 5 blade right now. And we've been cutting for 73 minutes. And the blade still seems to be cutting fine. So it's not worth swapping it out for the sake of swapping it out. If I notice it start getting dull, we'll swap it out. Hey, Big Al, how's it going? Nah, it's relaxing. This is one of those things where you just shut your brain off. Well, I'm cutting out 2 at once. I'm guessing, I haven't sold these before. I'll run my numbers when I'm done. As long as I can get this cut out in 2 hours, I'm making 2, so that's an hour per cut. Probably between 20 and 30, I'm guessing. That's what I think the market would bear here. If I'd put it online, it would be more. Yeah, I haven't done a normal like holiday craft show in probably about 15 years, 14 years, something like that. How much time it'll take you to do all the non-cutting work? Probably about 20 minutes, maybe. I'm gonna sand the top real quick when I'm done. Sand the bottom. There's a separate piece that goes in the back. So I gotta spray paint that. I gotta stain this, glue it together, and then put a clear coat on it. So maybe a little more than 20 minutes. Yeah, it's been a long time since I sold this kind of stuff. But for the channel, I think it's gonna be fun. Yep, so I'm going to approach this as, more of a hobby than a business. Hello, welcome in. How's your day going? So this is a more, it's kind of an intermediate piece, it's slightly above beginner, but it's not too bad. It's just there's 90 some holes that you gotta do an internal cut for. So this style saw is not so bad. If you had a saw where you had to do an Allen wrench and take it apart, or it would be a pain then. We're 81 minutes into cutting this out. I was shooting for 2 hours, so we'll see. We'll be close. Hello, how's it going? Yeah, so this is a free pattern from Steve Good. It's got a lot of little holes, but nothing is too complicated with it. So if you're just starting out, don't do it in one sitting, but kicked up a piece of wood that got stuck underneath. Yeah, Steve Good has a lot of great patterns. I design a lot for myself, but yeah. There's quite a few with a whole bunch of different levels. So, how was Sister Made today? Doing good? So we're recording a long format video right now, and I'm live streaming as well. That way, if people want to watch the short version, they can, or they can come and check out, you know. Ooh. The password is no ASMR. Not our thing. So my new goal for the channel right now is we're gonna make a bunch of holiday stuff, about a bunch of Halloween stuff, and we're gonna try to get into some craft shows and maybe set up an Etsy account, kind of walk some people through, you know, starting out, you know, what to expect. Hey Edwin, how's it going? Just some local stuff. Kind of do a whole journey thing with it. making progress, guys. Look at that. Got a bunch done. Oh no, one of my cameras locked up on me. I guess we're not getting that view. Not a big deal. Hey, how's it going, Rumpelstiltskin? So, I wanted to wait till July to start making Christmas stuff, but I fell a couple days early. So. I am going to attempt to restart one of my cameras here. This one, no, it's this one? Oh. Trying to figure out which camera went out. My Elgato face cam, for some reason, just doesn't like me all the time. All right. Well, I'm going to try for a minute here to get it to work, but there we go. Beauty. Now I can get back to work. All right. Yep, so we're just doing the internal guts around the outside edge. And then we got the majority of the little stuff cut out. So there's just a couple big long cuts in here. but I didn't want to make them before I got all the rest of the stuff done, because this stuff is going to be very delicate. So as far as cutting this piece out, we're 93 minutes in. I want to get it done by 120, so let's see. What's really nice about these parallel arm saws, whether it be Delta, DeWalt, Pegasus, King, the newer Jets, this Bauer saw, is the keyless blade changes, which helps speed everything up. It's kind of like NASCAR, you know, the race is won in the pits. Doing production work, it's the time it takes to put the blade on. Hello, Steve. How's it going? So I'm also using a foot pedal to turn the saw on and off, which allows me to keep both hands on the work while it's running. So I don't have to reach up to the switch on the saw every time. Hello, Oliver. How's it going? Welcome in. We're getting there, man. So with a no-load saw, you have to rewire the saw switch to add the pedal? No, no, no. So I just turn the switch on in the saw so the saw's power is on. And then you just plug the foot pedal in. It's removable. So it's just an external pedal. Hey Geraldo, how do you correct a boo-boo? You do the best you can to make it blend in. We're trying our best not to make any boo-boos. You would alter the pattern to make it work. So this piece is going to have a backer board. So it's going to have a ring that this sits on. So if something would happen to break or chip out or get messed up, since you would have a surface that you could also glue things to. So if it's not necessarily a stencil, as long as it's on the inside here, you can make it work. But this outside stuff, there's no way of repairing it if it gets messed up. Doesn't have to be the last question. I like questions. I might not have the answers. But if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I'm not going to give you a line of BS. So it locks the pattern in place. So the pattern is glued on top of the wood. So I put down a layer of shelf lining paper, and then I use spray adhesive to glue the pattern to the shelf lining paper. So I basically made a big sticker. So when I'm done cutting it out, I can just peel the whole pattern off. Now, if it was something not so complicated, if I could get it off in one piece, I would literally have a stencil that I could just take and put on a wall and spray paint it, and then it would say Merry Christmas. Got a little piece of wood up here. There you go. So since we're cutting two pieces at once and they're nailed together, after we get done cutting the center, when we cut the outside, we're gonna go around the nails and just have little tabs. That way when we cut off the tabs, it'll be easier to square things up. Good night in your kitchen is machine. Let's see here. My machine is in a workshop, not in my kitchen. Como se dice workshop? The gringo's trying. The world may never know. Alright, so we got that outside ring cut out now. So now we're going to cut out the center here. This one here is very delicate, so we'll do that last. So I think we'll do this one here first and come up and then do the two on top. And then worry about that little bit there. Much better. Hey Robert, how's it going? Welcome in. So we are making a Merry Christmas sign today. I was hoping it was going to take 2 hours to cut out. We're at 107 minutes. So I'm pretty close. We're stack cutting, so we're making two at once. I'm sorry, I only speak English. Sharing your thought process, good teaching techniques. Yeah, I try. Well, like I said, I'm recording this for making a full-length video. So I'm going to do a voiceover, so... I really enjoyed the process, you know. What brand of blades do I use? I'm currently using nickel blades that are sold in the U.S. under the name Flying Dutchman. These are the ultra reverse blades. I currently have a number 5 in. So I use nickel blades, I use Pegasus blades, and I use Olsen Mach Speed blades. And I've been starting to use some PS Wood Super Sharps. So some blades are more aggressive than other blades, and yeah. So. I'm old enough where I can afford to have a bunch of different blades. And I have a whole bunch of spirals as well, made by those companies. But I felt like a flat blade would be better for this project. So if you notice, my finger, I'm holding down on the area that's been cut out because it's starting to vibrate because of the saw. And we don't want to get a lot of vibration in here because you can actually break things off. So I'm just supporting what I've already cut, and my fingers are just going to kind of move along with it just to keep it pressed down against the wood. This piece out if we can. I was seeing if I could get away without using my skewer, but no. I have to skewer it out of there. We got a little cut here, which is going to be tricky. But we'll get her done. If I was going to cut this pattern again, I would more than likely connect these two letters here, because that's very flimsy there. Once it's glued down, it won't matter. Hanging there. Alright, what method do I use to drill the holes? The Seiko tool is not available in the UK. And the Seiko, I don't have one. It's like $145 US. I use my drill press for this, but I don't know if you guys can get Dremel stuff, but I have a Dremel, a multi-tool, and then I have a base on it, which is like a plunge router, so I can set it on top and plunge in my holes. So that works nice as well. Some people make like a double parallel arm design where this clamps in there with a spring so that they have a lot of distance that they can drill the holes in. But yeah, this is kind of my go-to if I'm doing something big. The downfall is you need a drill bit that fits in the collet, where the Seiko has a Jacob's chuck, so you can put little things on. So that's what I currently use. But as long as it's not too huge, the drill press is definitely the way to go. I mean, if you're very careful, a hand drill will work just fine. So around the antlers here, it is very, very delicate. So I'm going to skip that area, cut out the rest, and then come back so we can take our time and concentrate on it. Yeah, so if I was to cut this pattern again, I'd change a couple little things on it. Nothing huge, but just trying to make it a little bit easier to cut. So one nice thing about this pattern is these holes here for the holly berries. I just drilled them out with the correct size so we didn't have to cut them out. So it fits a 5/16 blade or an 8mm blade. 8mm drill bit fits in there great. Not blade, drill bit. So that'll save some of the cutting time by not having to cut out all those berries. So you could see that even though it's one big cut, I'm making it in smaller pieces to try to keep things more stable. You don't want big pieces in there vibrating on everything else. And I am still working with my first blade. So we're 120 minutes in. And not quite done. It's going to be a little bit longer than 2 hours, I'm afraid. So the price is going up. So this part is scary. It's very delicate. So we're going to take our time, do a lot of nibbling, taking little sections out. I am slightly going to change the design on this. I'm just going to make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to the outside of the line rather than trying to split the line. Just gonna nibble this down from the side. There we go. Alright, so we got 2, and then we'll go around the outside. This is going to be fragile here. So small, that curlicue there. So we'll start on the inside and come to the outside. I think that's the best way of doing it. Actually, drilling a hole there and starting in the middle will probably be an even better idea. So having a small drill press right next to your scroll saw is a great idea. So if you have to add extra holes, you're already there. now we're going to come around the loop that way, come back and come in. So we're protecting that circle there, that little C that's coming up there. It's actually an M, but you know what I'm talking about. Hang on 1 second. Hello, honey. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, good. I'm 2 hours into cutting. I got maybe 20 more minutes left. I am. And I'm live streaming too, so it's okay. All right, honey. I love you. I'll give you a call when you get done. All right? So, all right. Bye-bye. All right. So right now it's just trying to keep things stable. Alright, one more internal cut. Then we're going to swap the blade out. We're still on our original blade. So we made it over 2 hours with the same blade. Oh, I missed. I got one more hole here. Man. What are we going to do? Alright, I'm feeling a lot of vibration, so we're gonna just come over here. I'm gonna remove this big piece here. Alright, that line's a little wonky, so we're gonna fix it. Just gonna straighten it out. Like that. Alright, drill one more hole. All right, the inside is done. Hip, hip. Hooray. So if we can get it all in the view there, looks pretty nice. A little bit of sanding back there and we'll be fine. So I'm gonna switch the blades out. We had a number 5 in here. This thing has worked for the last 2 hours. Thank you, Mr. Blade. Woohoo! Now we're gonna go to a number 7 blade. Because we don't have a lot of detail, we just have the outside to cut. So this is a Nikwa blade, so it's a Flying Dutchman. It's a number 7. And the nice thing about the Nikwa blades, the Flying Dutchman blades, are... Hello, how's it going? They have a little crimp, so you know which direction is the top. So when we're going to be cutting this out, we're going to be going around the nails. So we're going to have little tabs that we're going to cut out when it's all done. Hey Joshua, how's it going? Hey, Joshua, thank you so much. Much appreciated. So I'm going to back the cut up and go around. So we're stack cutting, so we have two layers. So we're making sure the layers are going to stay together. Have I ever made wooden knives with a scroll saw? I have not. Kinda sounds like fun though. Does sound like a fun project. So I'm going to leave 3 nails in, so I'm just going to cut through this one. 3's enough to hold it together. And 3's company, too. So when I'm going to go around the tab, I cut in further, then I back up, and then I go around. So what that does is it gives me a starting point to cut in, which should make it easier to cut them off. Hello, how's it going? Welcome in. All right. Whew. So we have everything cut out except for the tabs now. So let's cut out the tabs. 1 tab. 2 tabs. Now we're going to kind of pinch everything together because there's nothing keeping it from pivoting now. There we go. So we now have 2 Merry Christmas signs cut out. Let's cut out the backer and then we'll move the cameras and cut that off. Whew. Alright, there's the back. Back is just a circle. We're going to take our time. Follow the outside edge. One a little inside there, that's alright. You're not going to see the back anyway. There we go. So we use shelf lining paper. So we should be able to just pull it right off. There we go. Good. Now we're gonna stop the cameras. Alright, we're going to move over to the table. The tripod over there. Boom. Over. Alright, since we use the shelf lining paper, we should be able to peel this off. I'm not shooting for one piece. One piece would be awesome, but I'm just happy getting it off. That's cut out, and then we're going to put the backer on. So that's going to get sanded, glued on there, and that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to stain the front, paint the back, and since we did stat cutting, we now have 2 for the price of 1. Oh yeah, Lisa, the scroll saw is awesome. I really appreciate that. Being able to for a living. All right, let's stop the video here. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. So what we're actually doing is we're recording a long format video. So this is going to be a tutorial about this project, and then if you want to watch it in real time, you can watch the live stream of it being made. You know, just the cutting part. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Do a little surface sanding, and I think it should be pretty good. So this took a little over 2 hours to cut out. But yeah, this is birch, so it doesn't have too much of a smell. But it's still lovely. All right. Looks like this is going to take 2 days to finish, but that's all right. So, I mean, very minimal sanding on this. The back looks pretty good. I'll probably hit it with a torch just to knock some of the little fuzzies off. We can do that on the stream. Yeah. Just a little sandpaper, a little torch will do wonders. Let's start out with fire. I'm going to keep the torch moving. We're just burning off the little fuzzies. Nobody's going to see the back. So, if you get it a little toasty, not the end of the world. And it's going to be stained anyway. So this is the front, so we're going real quick. We don't want to have any burn marks on the front. To the back. So the big thing is keep the torch moving. Yes, this is from Steve Good's website. So stevegood.com. It's, if you do a search for Christmas wreath, it'll come up. So Steve Good patterns are all PDFs. So it comes with a pattern for the back. And then the front is 2 pages that you cut down and then tape together. Oh, great. Just a little light sanding, we should be good. So I don't plan on distressing these at all. Yep, see, good. So we'll play around with sanding and we'll go from there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I should have the full video up probably tomorrow. I've got a lot of stuff to do yet, and yeah, we'll go from there. So thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great day, and as always, yeah, make stuff. It's fun.